Hey guys, what's going on? I got this Black and White 2 Wi-Fi battle. My first one against this guy, Dracomaster from Smogon Wi-Fi Battle Finder. This is an NU match, and it's steadily becoming my favorite tier, even though I still kind of have to, work out what's good and what's not. So we're both gonna lead with we're both gonna lead with our Electabuzzes. And I am a modest Scarf Electabuzz. I have no idea what he's running. I'm just going to Volt Switch out, because I figured I'd be faster. I Volt Switch out, and I go to Amoonguss, because I figure he's probably going to Volt Switch too. So I go to Amoonguss, can easily take a Volt Switch, no problem. And he does go for the Volt Switch, take it, no problem. And I've got Regenerators, so all that damage is healed off when I switch out. So here he goes into his Gardevoir, and this thing's pretty dangerous. If it's offensive, but I'm like, alright, I have Masherna. It's going to resist any sort of psychic move. I'll just go to that. But, he's not dumb, so he's going to go for the trick. And I'm like, oh fuck, this is horrible. Because now, not only is my Masherna crippled, but that means that this thing is offensive. Good news is that since he is running specs, he's going to be timid probably. So that means while I don't have much to switch into this thing, at least it won't be hitting as hard. So here I'm just going to stay in, go for the Hidden Power Bug, which is going to do over half, but because I don't have any investment in special attack, the only boost I have is from the specs, and he's just going to 2-hit KO me with Shadow Ball. So, Sharna goes down. This is bad. I'm just going to go into Electabuzz because it's what I have that's actually faster than this thing, and I know it has good special defense, so I didn't actually expect this to kill, and it doesn't, but it takes it pretty low, and I get the paralysis, which is pretty key, because that thing is pretty damn fast. So he's going to go for the Psychic. Luckily it does not kill me, and I'm just going to stay in and go for second Thunderbolt because I have nothing better to do. So he's just going to switch out, go back into his Electabuzz, which is no problemo because it's, modest Electabuzz is pretty good. So here, switch out because I can just go back into Moongus because he's probably just going to Volt Switch knowing I'm going to switch. So that's no problem for Moongus. So he does do that very thing. And he's going to switch out, and he's going to go back into his Gardevoir. Yes, and unfortunately, because he traced my Regenerator from before, he is back into the green after his leftovers, which is horrible. So I have to switch out. Again, nothing on my team can really take this Gardevoir. So I just go into Braviary, and he actually gets paralyzed, which is amazing. So lucky. Here I'm just going to go for the U-turn. I know he has the Bastiodon, and he has the Gardevoir, but, U-turn, it's too early to go for, like, a Brave Bird or Return or something. So I'm just going to go for the U-turn, just scout what he goes into. And Bastiodon is fine, because I also have Girder. And Girder is just such a good Pokemon in NU. It's just amazing. It's been the MVP of, like, every NU match I've had so far. It's just great. So, he's going to switch out now, obviously. And I knew that he would switch out. I thought he might go to Gardevoir, so I just went for the payback. I actually mis-salved this Girder, and I don't have Bulk Up. I have Tackle, which is pretty bad, but it didn't really matter that much in this battle. So here, I go into Amoonguss, knowing he might go for the Leech Seed. And here, because I just wasn't thinking at all, I knew he was going to go for the Sleep Powder, because they all have that. And I have a Vital Spirit Electabuzz. But I just stay in on Amoonguss. I was like, oh, I'll just use it as sleep fodder. But he actually misses the first one. I go for the HP Ice, and that almost takes him out. It doesn't, which is pretty unfortunate. But here he's going to go for it again. I still haven't remembered the fact that I have a Vital Spirit Electabuzz. And my Amoonguss is now asleep. So, I'm going to have to switch. I'm just going to go back into my Electabuzz. Electabuzz Lightyear. And he's just going to go for the U-turn, which is going to do more than I'd expect, but Electabuzz is not very defensive. So he's going to go back into this freaking Gardevoir, which now has even more HP because it traced my Regenerator twice. So now it's basically at full HP, and I'm like, well, shit. So I just Volt Switch for a little bit of damage, and I decide Braviary has decent HP. Maybe it can take, you know, one Psychic, or maybe he'll get paralyzed. So I go back to Braviary, which is my Adamant Choice Band set, which is really good. It's just nothing can take hits from this thing, except for really good resists. But he gets the special defense drop, doesn't matter. Here I'm just going to go for the U-turn again. He might stay in, although he probably won't, considering he probably realizes his Gardevoir is such a threat to my team. So I'm just going to U-turn again. He goes into his Garbodor. It's probably the standard defensive set, which is pretty bad, but I'm going to go into my Buzz Lightyear here, and I'm just going to get a hit on this, because he's been wearing down my team with his Gardevoir, and I need to start wearing down his defensive pokes. His Bastiodon is no problem, but this Garbodor is, so I decided to sack my Electabuzz just to get damage on that. Nothing on his team is faster than some of my pokes, except for his Cinccino, but I still have Girder, so that shouldn't be a problem. So here I actually predict the switch, finally, into his Bastiodon. It's kind of risky, because a resisted superpower against a defensive Garbodor probably would not have killed it. But luckily, I do predict this Bastiodon, and I'm able to take it out with a ×4 super effective superpower. So here, this Gardevoir is like raping my face with its trace, because it got regenerated before. Now it gets sheer force, and it has boosted Psychics now, I think. Anyway, it gets paralyzed on my switch to Miltank. I'm gonna wake up my Amoonguss with the Heal Bell and just kind of hope I can take a hit. Luckily, his Focus Blast missed, so I'm getting pretty lucky with hacks here. Here I decide to go for the Stealth Rock so I can kill his Jumpluff when it gets back in, and I can weaken his Electabuzz so that I can take it out with Girder's Mach Punch. Mac. Why did I say Mac? I always do that. It's Mach. Ugh. Anyway, I actually take this Psychic, which surprised me because I have no investment in special defense. And Miltank's special defense, not that great. But it does allow me to get off a Seismic Toss before I die, which is pretty handy. So, here I'm going to go back into my Braviary because it can threaten out this Gardevoir easily. And here, instead of going for the U-turn, because there's really no point now that his Bastiodon is gone, I can freely just go for the return, because nothing on his team resists it at this point. But he does the smart play, and he sacks his Jumpluff to know what move I'm going to lock myself into. So he's going to go back into his Electabuzz, which is easily going to outspeed me. But I still have Amoonguss at full health, so this Electabuzz is not really a threat to me at all. He goes for the Volt Switch, and he's actually going to get a critical hit here, but it doesn't matter because of Regenerator. And he's going to switch out, go back into his Gardevoir, I believe. Yep. And Stealth Rock is helping a little bit here, so it's kind of cool. But again, he's tracing my Regenerator, so I figure I can't let this thing keep doing this to me, so I'm just going to stay in. My Amoonguss, I don't really need it at this point. As long as I can get damage on this Gardevoir, it's not really a problem. All he has left is that. He has the Garbodor, and he's got the Electabuzz. Oh, and he has the Cinccino, which hasn't come out yet. But, so he's going to take out the Amoonguss with a Psychic. That's no problem, because, again, I can just keep going back into Braviary, and here I actually do decide to go for the U-turn. and he lets his Gardevoir die, which is pretty good for me because this freaking Gardevoir. Oh man, who knew a paralyzed Gardevoir would give me so much trouble? Here I'm just gonna go into Girder because it's awesome, and he goes into his Chinchino. I don't know why I didn't go into his Gardevoir. Here I'm gonna go for the Mach Punch. Ha! I said it right that time. I should get like a sticker or a cookie. Unfortunately, it doesn't take him out, which I found surprising because Chinchino is really weak. But he's going to go for the Tail Slap, and it's going to put me at about half. A little under, actually. No, actually, it's more than half. Maybe. I don't know. I never learned how to math. So 2 Mach Punches takes it out. He's going to go into his Gardevoir here. Again, I don't have bulk up, so I can't actually set up on this thing. I decided to go for the Drain Punch to see how much it would do, and he must be the defensive set, because it doesn't jack shit to him. So, he misses his Gunk Shot, and he misses the second Gunk Shot, which this guy is pretty unlucky in this battle. But I'm just going to go for the Payback, and because I moved second, it's boosted, and it's able to take him out. And then I'm hurt by his Aftermath. But that's not really a big deal, because all he has left is the Electabuzz, and after Stealth Rock, there is no way this thing's surviving a Mach Punch. So that is the game. Comment, rate, sub, and I'll see you guys later.